welcome to episode 29 of the World of Screens podcast. On today's show, huge show in store for today. We've got reviews for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, Keeper, Now You See Me, Now You Don't, and The Running Man. 4 movies on the trot today. Plus, we'll take a look at last weekend at the Aussie box office as always. I'm Nick Barrow, the founder and film editor at World of Screens, joined by Peter Gray, Mr. Peter Gray, Gray, Tomatoes, certified critic man of the AU review. The bell, is it bell curve or bellwether? I feel like I hear two things. You are the
Bellwether
the
was what it
bell, the
was.
bellwether critic,
Yeah.
making hedge fund billionaires even more money.
Yeah.
Pete may not be the 1%, but he's helping the 1%
Yeah, I'll
with
claim that.
his film reviews. How you going, Pete? You're in Sydney. It's early in the morning on a Saturday for us.
Although technically it's earlier for you.
It's just before 7 a.m. for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And I was just like, oh, my computer is on Brisbane time. So I was like, it's just before 7 for me too. No, but then my phone is on Sydney time. So yes. Daylight savings, what an amazing thing.
what an
So I
invention.
am I am in 1 hour in the future
How is the
and
future, Pete, by the
and
way?
the world is still here. Uh, sorry.
Damn it. I was
Yeah,
really hoping. I was really,
yeah.
really hoping.
But no, I am in Sydney. I traveled down last night for a friend's play. I
Mm,
decided to support them. Also, obviously, free tickets don't hurt.
doesn't hurt.
Um, so yeah, did that, and but you can't stop us from chatting all things
No,
film.
not on a
So
week not on a
we
week
can,
this crazy and this busy for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
But thanks for making the time and thanks
that's all
for,
right.
but we do it for you guys. We do it for the
We do.
audience.
So
Uh,
yes, I apologize if I even on a screen I look a little bit tired
I am
because
currently looking
I
at the bags under my
yeah I was
eyes.
like I only went to bed like 5 hours
We
ago.
we've had a similar trajectory over the last 24 hours, it seems like, because it was just like I was telling you before we jumped, I was like, I had the worst sleep. I
Yeah,
got up at 5:30 and my first instinct was to throw Wicked on because I'm like, I just need some niceness to start my morning. We get
yeah.
to see at the time of recording, we're watching it tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Very excited about that.
Um,
But that's in the future. That's too far
yeah,
in the future. We've got a week to recap before we get into that, the week that was. But before we
we
get into all
do.
those reviews, housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
You're in a hotel room, so housekeeping is
It's
even.
pretty, but that, you know what would have been great is if like just randomly I got a knock on the door, I was like, housekeeping. I would have been like, no, thank you, but all good.
I'll do the housekeeping around
Yeah,
these parts. And that housekeeping is, if you are listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, thank you so much. But it would be really great if you follow the show and download the episodes. It really gets us into the algorithm. While we're talking about subscribing, go to YouTube. You can see our tired yet still beautiful faces on this Saturday morning. Follow us on there, leave comments, likes, it helps out, and subscribe to the worldofscreens.com emailing list. The email that went out this week was massive. We had heaps of reviews, heaps of articles, more giveaways on the way. At World of Screens on Instagram, follow us there. All the support is incredibly, incredibly helpful. So look, we've beaten the dead horse of it's early for us. We've had a huge week. We're out here. We're recording this episode. Why don't we start this things on a light note? And we'll
okay.
do a review for Mary Bronstein's film starring Rose Byrne. If I had legs, I'd kick you.
I try very hard to be in control of her and everything, but may as well not even be there at all.
I don't like how it feels on my sock.
Just stay there, okay? Just hold on.
How deep is it? Are we gonna die? Is the house gonna fall on top of us? Mommy!
Hey, we just got home, and you would not believe.
With her life crashing down around her, Linda attempts to navigate her child's mysterious illness, her absent husband, a missing person, and an increasingly hostile relationship with her therapist. So, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You is a psychological drama film written and directed by Mary Bronstein, who is the wife of Ron Bronstein, who was a collaborator of the Safdie brothers, worked on Uncut Gems.
Nice.
which will come up when we talk about the visceralness of this film.
Mm.
The film stars Rose Byrne, Conan O'Brien, Danielle McDonald, Christian Slater, and ASAP Rocky. Um, so we teased this movie last week, Pete, because
Good.
we did Die My Love last week,
Mm.
which was a film about a woman's sort of descent into psychological madness,
Yeah.
based on her surroundings and the things that are happening in her life. We said it would be a fucked up but very relatable double feature
No.
to watch Die My Love and If I Had Legs I'd Kick You, because this is a very similar film. It's about a woman struggling to deal with all the shit that life throws at her.
Mm.
But we saw this months ago. We had a chance to interview.
So long ago.
It was ages ago. I'm thinking about now. It
Yeah.
was probably like June,
Four.
July,
Like it
August,
felt like it's
maybe.
been like 4 months, I
It's been a
think.
while.
Yeah.
It was before it got picked up by an Australian distributor, which was cool. But
Yep.
Mary was in Melbourne for the Melbourne Film Festival. We had a chance to talk to her. It was an incredible conversation. Actually re-listened to it recently because we were
Oh,
obviously putting it out. She's an
he,
incredible talker. Like,
yeah. I was the same. I was like, okay, I've got to put out this
mhm.
interview because now that I can.
Yes, yeah.
And I was, yeah, like typing it out and re-listening to it, and I was like, yeah, we had a good for a movie like this,
Mm,
it was an incredibly spirited conversation
very much so.
because there's so many avenues to go down, and it from the sounds of it, it's like we both like it didn't feel like we
I think
overlapped with our questions. Like I felt like we
we
asked
covered a
very
wide spectrum of
But we
things.
ask
Yeah,
very different things, which is great because it means she's having two very distinct
conversations
interviews.
about the film. Yeah.
Um, but no, it was fun to be like, oh wow, we had such a great time talking because I was like, because man, this movie, and this is meant in the best way, is not something I'm going to revisit anytime
Well,
soon.
it feels like Time I Love, doesn't it? It's that
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
it's another very it's crazy how similar and different these films are. Similar in the
yeah.
sense of they are these very invasive, immersive, visceral feelings. This is another
Feeling movie,
experience
yeah.
sort of film, and that's because of the sound design, the way Mary Bronstein shoots Rose Byrne, who is the film. The camera barely moves away
It's
from a close up of her
It
face the
is.
whole
It's a
movie.
very. It's an incredibly claustrophobic
Oh,
movie, which kind of it's funny. Like looking at Die My Love and this, like Die My Love, I felt um made me uncomfortable
mhm.
because of the cat like the character's action, Jennifer Lawrence's actions, and the way that it sort of utilized really loud
Mhm.
music to disorient you, and kind of those really quick cuts with her self-harming and things like that.
Yeah,
With this, it's the uncomfortableness comes from, yeah, the fact that the camera just barely leaves like
yeah.
Rose Byrne's vicinity.
Mm.
And
And it
again,
lingers for a long time as well.
her actions are frustrating,
Yeah,
but this one they're frustrating because everyone else around her kind
it's
of can't see what she's going through.
yeah, it's
Like,
equally as frustrating
yeah,
watching because a lot of
like,
the film, those close-ups of her are very a lot of reactionary shots.
yeah.
And like when she's talking to like the one that infuriates me the most was the school principal who's like,
Oh,
we
yeah.
need to talk. Oh no, was it the principal or the doctor?
I think it's the
The
doctor.
doctor, that's right. I was like, we
Yeah,
need to book the appointment. We need to book the
yeah.
appointment to talk about your daughter.
Which is Mary
Valid,
Bronstein as
which is
well.
Mary Bronstein, yeah, and it's a valid thing for a doctor to be like, hey, we need to talk about your daughter's illness, but like with everything else going on, you're just watching Rose Byrne just break down without physically breaking down.
Yeah,
It's just it lingers on it for so long too. You can't
yeah.
escape this movie.
Yeah, it's
It
like
traps
every
you.
yeah, like and it's just funny because I was like, you like her husband, played by Christian Slater, well, primarily voiced by Christian Slater,
There's a lot
briefly
of
seen by Christian
phone
Slater.
conversations, yeah.
He's away on work,
Mhm.
and the daughter like just absolutely idolizes him, and he is very like kind of but like, oh, you'll do the right thing, and she's just like, I need help, and he can't really
He can't get that.
give her
He's
that.
yeah.
And then, she's dropping her kid off at school, and like the parking attendant's giving her shit. And
That's
then
right.
Conan O'Brien, who plays her therapist, who is incredible in this
Incredible in
movie,
this film. And it's worth noting that Rose Byrne's character is a
is a
therapist too.
therapist.
They work in
Yeah,
the
which
same
is
clinic. Yeah.
really quite funny. But like he's her therapist, and he's basically given up on her. He's just like,
He's
stop.
over it.
He's just
Yeah.
like, cut this shit. Then when she's helping people, she helps a young woman played by Danielle McDonald, who
Mhm.
she's just like not giving her the wrong advice, but like it doesn't seem to resonate. So then Danielle McDonald kind of just like takes off and leaves Rose Byrne to
With
burden
her
with a
child. Yeah.
child. And then she meets ASAP Rocky,
Who is again
and
brilliant in this film as well.
so good. And it's like he, I think this is the thing. The movie, like, because he's probably the one, like, quote
Mm.
unquote good character. Like he's like
Yes, I know what you mean. I know what you
yeah,
mean.
like he is just like I just want to. You just seem like someone who needs to
You
let go a
you
bit.
need
I
to
want to help you
unwind.
out,
Yeah.
but I think the film kind of like the film almost is designed in a way that we almost like this could just be me. It's
Mhm.
all hey shush. Um, that was my alarm. That the film is almost designed for us to fear him in some sort of ways because everybody else in Rose Byrne's life has either let her down or ignores her. And
Mm.
he comes in, and because he is like, it's when she's in a motel because her apartment roof caves in, so they have to move out.
Yeah.
And I think it's
Just
like,
another thing on top of everything going on.
yeah, and their back and forth is really great because it sort of gives her a little bit of moment of like levity,
Yeah.
but you can't help but have that feeling of like, is he
What's he
does
going to do?
what's his intentions? And it's like, and it's really heartbreaking that you think that because he is actually the only person who like kind of wants to help her,
Yeah.
and she naturally kind of rejects that out of just pure
Just
like
it's almost habit though.
habit.
That's the
Yeah.
thing, right? Like like I
Um,
said, so many people have let her down already.
yeah.
She's kind of
So
got this automatic defense mechanism of just
yeah.
pushing people
So
away.
there's
Yeah.
never a moment that this film kind of gives you a bit to breathe.
Oh
So
no.
it's like 2 hours of just like having anxiety
It's
in this
relentless.
movie.
This movie is
Um,
relentless,
yeah.
but it
And then
is
and like
fantastic. Oh,
the final line is like one of the most
just
heartbreaking
that final 5 minutes
things.
is
Yeah.
you kind of I remember sitting there going like, is this gonna happen? Is this gonna be the thing?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I in the interview with Mary, and I actually took it out of the write up because I didn't want to spoil anything. But and this isn't
Mhm.
a spoiler, but she's like, it's a movie where for the whole film she hasn't been able to get her way and do stuff, and even at the ending, she's not able to do the one thing she wanted to do.
I do.
I'm like,
Yeah.
that is heartbreaking. Like that
Yeah.
is it is brutal, but it is done in such a technically magnificent way. So this
Yeah.
has the feeling. So it was shot on film cameras and that immersive cinematography, and there's no score. It's all sound design.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's these like screeching beeps of baby monitors because she has to be constantly keeping an eye on her
Well, that's
daughter.
the other thing. Her child has an illness that isn't really
Never disclosed, yeah.
disclosed, but it's like,
But she's on a feeding tube.
yeah,
She's
like
on
she's on a
like you know
feeding
these
tube,
things, yeah, yeah.
and we never see the daughter. You just hear her, which also makes like you feel really,
Crazy decision, but you are so detached.
yeah, and it
Like,
makes you feel so anxious as well because all you can, and I think that adds into the feeling of the movie because all you hear is the daughter like talking and everything, and it's like,
and talking at the mum and just being
yeah,
being a kid. Like,
that's the thing. I was like, you can't, it's like you can't blame the
yeah.
child, even though you're like, okay, the child's quote
Mhm.
unquote annoying,
Totally, yeah, yeah.
and you're like, but it's like the kid doesn't know any better. The kid's obviously,
No.
she's got whatever is wrong with her, she needs constant care. And I think it's one of those things where it's showing you like motherhood is the most like amazing and demanding
Mm,
thing.
totally. Yeah.
And I think what will probably people will relate to if they see this film,
Hmm.
I think some mothers and probably some fathers as well will sort of be like, yeah, sometimes our kids are a burden
Sometimes I want to
and we don't
scream into a
and we
fucking
don't
pillow.
want to
Yeah.
and it's like we don't want to admit that, but
Yeah.
this film is kind of showing you like it's like yeah, you've got so much going on,
Mm.
like sometimes maybe you just want to leave your kid and go and
And
buy a
go
bottle
and
of
buy wine
wine
and just
sort of
drink
thing.
it by the, yeah,
Like
totally. Yeah.
it's and that's and like I think that sort of lean and then that's like Rose Byrne's character, like yeah, maybe she does things that are considered unlikable, but you're like, but look at her situation.
Yeah.
Like,
It's I
it's
think
yeah,
you as an audience you have to consciously make that decision that you're going to think that way as well in the film
yeah,
because it's such a singular perspective. Like this is like the kid is annoying because she's annoying Rose Byrne's character.
yeah,
Conan
yeah,
O'Brien Conan O'Brien is frustrating because he's not saying the things she wants to hear in these
yeah,
therapy sessions.
yeah,
Danielle McDonald's character, it seems like in I don't know a nice way to say it, but like such a sad sack because
yes,
Rose Byrne looks down on her. And it's
yeah,
so it's these singular perspectives where you kind of as the audience have to be like, I'm fully team Rose Byrne and yeah, I hate all these
yeah,
people. Or you have to step back and be like, oh, but just because she's not getting what she wants out of this doesn't make it right. But I
yeah.
also understand what's got it's such a emotionally complex film, but not in a
Mm.
way that's hard to understand.
No.
I think you
And
need a
it's like
lot of
yeah,
empathy to
yeah.
understand this
I
sort
mean
of
it is.
film.
It's like another allegorical movie. It's very much like
Totally.
a meditation on motherhood and
Oh, the fact that the roof when the roof caves
oh
in the house and the hole, and I turned to Pete at one point and I was like, that that's supposed to look like a vagina, right? Like that's supposed to be like the birth canal. And we were like, you're like, oh yeah, no, I think that's very much like holes are used very allegorically in this film.
yeah,
So it's saying a lot in the subtext as
yeah.
well, but
It's like
on a surface level, it's still an incredible film.
yeah. Oh, yeah. No, because when I was speaking to Mary, I sort of said like, for lack of a better word, I was like, Rose Byrne is like she'll be unlikable to
Mhm.
some. She's like incredible, but I was like, but you've got an incredibly flawed character, and it feels more common in films now, but overall, it does feel quite rare
Mm,
to focus an entire movie on someone who just
yeah,
doesn't have their shit together.
yeah,
And I was like, and they got into a conversation where she's like, I want this movie to be divisive. She's like, it's okay if you don't like Rose Byrne. And she's like, and if you don't like this movie, that's okay. She's like, it just wasn't for you. She's like, I'm not making a movie to appease everybody. And
totally.
she's like, I don't like when she's like, I don't like when you basically betray your art
Hmm.
because you want it to mean something to everyone. She's like,
Everyone, yeah,
she was talking about Michael Haneke, and she was saying like at one of the screenings of his, I think it was Funny Games.
yeah.
He said he saw people walk out, and she was like, when that happened, someone asked him, "How do you feel?" And he was like, that my movie just wasn't for them in that period of time, and that's okay. And I was like, that's such a great way to look at it.
Especially when you're making
That doesn't
something
mean
that
that they might not they
is like art. You know what I mean? Like it is a complete
yeah
difference between like a Hollywood blockbuster popcorn film that is kind of made for
mm,
everyone and something that is like genuinely trying to say something and
just
trying
say
to mean
something.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I was like, I love that because I was like, that person, they may never revisit it.
Hmm.
They might circle back around and go, hey, I'm going to give it another chance. And whatever's going on in their life at the time, they might, it's
Yeah.
funny. Someone might be going through like what Rose Byrne's going through in some capacity and will just fucking reject this movie, even though you're
Totally.
like, this is who it's made for. And then they might go, okay, I've had enough time to separate myself. I will watch it. Um, and it's one of those things. It's like it's kind of like Die My Love. It's a
Very much so.
recommendation for us, but at the same time, this is not for everyone. Like this is a
Agreed.
very specific, distinct film. But regardless of how you respond to the material,
Mhm.
Rose Byrne's performance is like incredible.
Is she getting
And
talked about come awards?
I think it's starting. I think she's kind of popping up in stuff.
Yeah. Well, because
I
it
did
did the
say,
festival circuit for so long, so it
yeah, like
hasn't been really seen by a
this
lot of people yet.
premiered in January at Sundance. Like this is like done the long, like really long
A
game
long
for it.
haul, yeah.
But I said to Mary Bronstein straight up, I was like, we're gonna riot if Rose Byrne doesn't get an Oscar nomination. She's like, I agree, and we're like, yeah,
She's
let's
incredible.
like Rose Byrne should have,
It's the performance of her career,
yeah. In
undoubtedly.
my mind, Rose Byrne should already have an Oscar nomination for Spy. I'm putting it out there.
She is fucking
Best
brilliant.
supporting actress nomination for Spy should have happened. But
She is
just
great.
her body of work, like she is, I mean, obviously, yes, she's done a lot of comedy and things like that, but she's an incredible
Oh,
actress.
absolutely, yeah.
And this film is like just showing you how much she can carry an entire film.
An entire film
So
this
yeah,
stressful and this
this, yeah,
emotionally laboring, not just for the audience,
yeah.
but for Rose Byrne as well.
Yeah. So yeah, to me it's the like in the Die My Love, if I had legs I'd kick you double feature. This is the one preferred.
I would agree. No, I
Yeah.
would agree. And it's funny because I kind of gave them the same rating. I gave them both 4 stars, but I've probably, the fact that we're talking about if I had legs, I'd kick you 4 months after seeing it and still
And it's
feeling
still
this way and
that's
still
right.
having it
And it's
fresh in the
still
mind. Yeah.
very fresh. Yeah, because as I was writing my review, I was like, wow, this is not I was like, this hasn't left me.
No.
Like I was like
And there's
that,
still elements of Die My Love that I'm thinking about, but I think I appreciated that stylistically more than I
yeah.
did narratively. Whereas, like, if I had legs, I'd kick you is stylistic and
And
narratively very
yeah,
rich as well. So
yeah,
definitely a recommend, but it's a tough film
yeah.
to watch.
Don't, yeah.
It's not a date night movie. That's for
And
sure.
like, yeah, and don't go sort of being like, oh, what a quirky title. Like, no, like that's very much a like that
That's an
title makes,
emotional
yeah,
response.
that title makes so much sense when you realize like what she's going through
Going
and that
through, yeah.
that she can't do the one thing she wants to do. Yes,
Great film.
it's a big metaphorical kick.
Big
Um,
metaphorical kick.
but yes,
Loved it.
it's definitely worth it for the cinephiles
Oh,
out
for
there.
sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That is If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Big recommend from Pete and I. Let's jump into the next review, which is Osgood Perkins' new film,
Mm.
Keeper.
Let's go back.
A romantic anniversary trip to a secluded cabin turns sinister when a dark presence reveals itself, forcing a couple to confront the property's haunting past. So this is a surrealist horror film written by Nick Leppard and directed by Osgood Perkins. Nick Leppard, who wrote Dangerous Animals earlier this year, one of our first episodes of the new podcast and a movie we loved. And the film stars Tatiana Maslany and Rosef Sutherland. Osgood Perkins' third film in 2 years. He had Longlegs
Yeah.
last year, which we both loved. The Monkey earlier this year, which I liked. I didn't love. Were you in the same boat?
Yeah, it's funny. I had this conversation last night with our mutual friend Sefa, because
Sepho, yeah.
he's a big movie fan, and I Long Legs, incredible. I won't let it's weird, you know, those things where the film feels like it's so loved, and then Twitter decides we
The
don't like it.
retrospective discourse. Yeah.
And I was like, you're not going to change my opinion on Long
I
Legs.
rewatched it like 3 months ago and I
Yeah,
still fucking loved it. It's
it's
great.
an incredible film. The Monkey, I was like, The Monkey was fun. It was
Osgood
like,
Perkins calls it a comedy. Like he says it's his
yeah,
comedy, and I get
yeah,
that. Yeah.
and it is like
It's very silly.
It's very Final Destination-esque. Has a
Yes.
really, you know, fucked up sense of humor.
Yes.
Um, so Keeper, unfortunately, is not one that I have been able to see just
Yes.
with
With
life.
travel and life and all this. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
it's been a busy week.
and getting to that
You were
two,
excited for it, right?
yeah,
Because it's
getting to
Osgood.
that 202nd interview that I just marked
Congratulations.
off. I was, yeah, I know that's wild. I've done more interviews than I've released reviews this year. That's insane. Um, yeah, like I mean, I like Osgood Perkins. Like, I think he's a
Yes.
really interesting voice in horror. I love that he's kind of a bit like he's a bit of a weirdo, but he's
He's a bit of a
fun.
weirdo, but he's also like
He
he
loves the
loves
genre.
movies and he
He
loves the
loves
genre. Yeah.
movies. Yeah.
If you get
Um,
a chance, he was just on Brett Goldstein's podcast, Films to be Buried with.
okay.
Really fun chat about just
Yeah.
all the movies he loves and stuff, and
Yeah.
just his understanding of cinema
Well,
from his
if
very intriguing
yeah.
perspective.
For those who don't know,
Mm.
Osgood Perkins, son of Psycho Anthony Perkins. So
Yes, so
yeah,
horror's in the veins, horror's in the
yeah.
blood. But
But
yeah,
yeah, I was
Keeper.
excited. Like I actually I haven't watched trailers for Keeper.
Okay.
So when you read the synopsis, I was like, huh, okay. Because
It's
I only knew the smallest things about it. And I have seen like I haven't read your review because I was like, I want to watch the
yeah,
movie,
no, no, of
but I
course.
saw the little
That's
log
the log
line
line of
and
yeah.
was like, okay, I all I'm gonna say, and obviously you'll talk about it a little bit more, but I was like,
Sure.
I feel like I need to go in a bit more cautious.
A bit
Is what
tempered.
yeah,
Expectations need to be
yeah,
tempered.
yeah.
It's so this is we've spoken about this a few times already. We spoke about it with Yorgos Lanthimos and Begonia, and we spoke about it with
Mm.
Luca Guadagnino and After the Hunt. The output of films from filmmakers can sometimes lead to something that just isn't up to quality. Now, I on that Brett Goldstein podcast, Osgood Perkins talks about the fact that they actually made Keeper in between Longlegs and the Monkey.
Okay.
So it was like kind of a baby. It was Osgood's idea. It was
Right.
his story idea, but they needed Nick Leopard to write it because he wasn't part of the Writers Guild Association, and it was during the writers'
Right.
strike, and they
Okay.
needed Canadian actors because of the
Because
acting strike. So
yeah.
they filmed this while the strikes were happening, but it was obviously all outside of the
Within
American guilds.
and it was within like the rules of everything.
Yeah, pretty much because it was like a non-guild writer and non-guild
Yeah.
actors, they were allowed to do it, and they shot in Canada. I'm pretty sure they shot in Canada.
Wait,
So
does that mean Tatiana Mas like is not a guild actor?
because it's not an American production,
Okay.
technically, I think. So
Okay.
so
Wow,
they got away with it.
all the little loopholes.
All the little loopholes.
Yeah.
But yeah, they filmed it in between, and then Longlegs came out, and it was a hit, and then Neon gave a little bit of extra money to do reshoots, and they were like, okay, well,
Right.
and that's the thing
Oh,
with Osgood now. Like
they Shelby Oaked it.
they kind of Shelby Oaks it a little bit, I think, because it's that thing now where Osgood Perkins is a name in horror.
Yeah.
Longlegs was enough to be like,
Oh,
okay,
like
cool, you can do what you want.
yeah, the monkey very much was like Osgood Perkins. Like I was like, yeah, like Longlegs
Totally.
really changed
Like
the
catapulted this guy,
trajectory.
yeah.
Because I was like, he made movies before
He's been
Longlegs.
writing movies for 15 years,
Yeah.
and he's been acting in films for 30.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, the
been
other thing,
around.
he's the weirdo guy from Legally
Legally
Blonde that
Blonde.
so many people forget about too. Yeah.
But yeah, that output and sort of like, creating for the sake of creating is cool, and I respect
Mm.
it. It just sort of surmounts to something that is really underwhelming with
Okay.
Keeper. It's a very one-note movie.
Okay.
I think it says too much early on. I picked where this movie was going to go within the first 10 minutes,
Ooh,
and it
okay.
did nothing to subvert the expectations. And then I was like, I've seen this done before. Dare I say it, narratively, I've seen it done
Done
better.
better.
But Osgood has a style, and he has
Yeah.
this ability to create really unsettling atmospheres that for the most of the movie, I was like, yeah, this is creeping me out a little bit. And
Yeah.
it gets weird. It gets really weird at the end.
Okay.
That's why I guess it's been described as a surrealist horror.
Mhm.
but the sum of the parts isn't as great
Yeah.
as other songs. Like I as much as I didn't like love the monkey, I think it's a better movie than Keeper.
Okay.
Um, it's a supernatural horror.
Mm.
So in fairness, like the opening montage, I guess I was kind of like, all right, this is interesting, and then it makes a decision right at the end of the montage where I went, oh, interesting, and then I connected two dots from the montage and like within the opening 10 minutes of the film where I was like, oh, this is the same thing. Oh, okay, this is where it's gonna go.
Right. Okay.
Um, and yeah, it Tatiana Maslany has the whole film on her shoulders, basically. In
Okay.
fairness, this is like a 95-minute movie. I've seen reviews calling it a slow burn. I didn't feel like it was that slow. It's not an eventful movie. It's not full of like loud jump scares and stuff. There are jump scares and there is a lot of unsettling tension, but it's really just again the common theme of the last 2 weeks about a woman kind of descending into madness when it's
Okay.
been brought upon her by exterior forces.
Right.
So this movie has creepy things. It has unsettling things. It's pretty tense. I liked how weird the ending was. I just didn't think the story leading up to it was that strong, and it felt very monotonous and whatnot. So
Okay.
it's just like it
Mm.
feels like a rare miss for Osgood, but it
Yeah.
still has the things stylistically that I like about his movies.
Okay. Okay.
So at 95 minutes though, you're not wasting your time seeing this. Like I still
That's
gave it a
very
three
true.
stars, but like
Yeah.
that's coming off of like a 4.5 for Long Legs and a three and
Yeah.
a half for the Monkey, which, as we just said, is like dumb fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Okay.
think I would be very intrigued to see what you think about it.
Yeah.
I
I'm
think
gonna,
you
yeah.
will.
I hopefully next week, I can try and get a
And
session in.
Osgood's already making his next film.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
man does not stop. The man does not
Um,
sleep. So I feel like if you're an Osgood purist, check it out. If you want to
yeah.
complete that filmography, but we've had this seems to be like the last sort of like maybe outside of Silent Night, Deadly Night, kind of like the last horror movie of the year or
We
mainstream
do
horror movie of
have
the year.
we do have Silent Night, Deadly Night coming
But that's
up.
obviously coming out later because it is a Christmas themed horror film. So this seems like
Secretly,
the last of the
yeah,
season.
secretly very excited for
Oh,
that.
I love that trailer. I thought that trailer was fucking brilliant. I'm so keen for it. So, but Keeper, yeah, not a strong recommend, but it's, you know, we've
Yeah.
had better horror films this year and we've had better horror films
I
from
mean,
Osgood.
yeah, horror has been cooking this year, so
Very
it's
much so.
it's one of those things like maybe like in another year with lesser horror movies would keep us seem a bit more like have a
Yeah.
bit more of a personality, but we have been blessed with horror in such a strong capacity this year.
This year, this decade as well,
Like,
like we've
yeah,
been doing very well.
I think, like, I reckon two particular horror movies from this year are going to end up on a lot of best of lists.
Very much ours as well, I think. Yeah.
Two particular Warner Brothers horror movies is all I'm going to say on that
They're
one.
doing very, very well, Warner Brothers.
But yeah, no, so that was, yeah, kind of
Where
the
you're
vibe. I was
thinking,
like,
yeah.
okay, so I just feel like, yeah, I'm gonna go into it and I'll just be like, let's see.
Actually,
Yeah.
another common theme is we had a walkout. There was three people,
Oh,
including me. It was like an afternoon session.
yeah. Oh, and
Um,
it hasn't been
Marketed
advertised
at
at
all.
all. Yeah.
And yeah, lady walked out probably about just before the halfway point, before shit got
Okay.
like really weird too. So she probably made a good
Okay.
decision getting out of that point as well.
Right. Yeah.
If you're not vibing with it in the first 30 minutes, you're not gonna like where the last hour goes. So
Right. Okay. But
multiple
also
walkouts over
just
multiple weeks.
just going off that, awesome that these kind of movies are in cinemas.
I 100%
Like,
agree.
let's just keep doing that. Like, that's what
I,
we need.
I agree.
Yeah.
Every movie gets a chance to be watched in a cinema. I think that's the way
Yeah.
it should be done.
Yeah.
And a lot of movies were watched in the cinema this last week, Pete, as we transition into the Australian box office. The top five from last weekend, thanks to Numero box office. Another healthy week for Australian box office. We had a bit of a lull the last 2 weeks, but this week we seem to be on it. Unfortunately, Die My Love did not chart in the top 10. We kind of expected that.
Wait, that's not a surprise at
Super
all.
limited release.
What
But
did
yeah,
it what did it debut at?
I don't have anything past 10,
On
so I don't know. I'm
Oh,
assuming like
okay.
11 or 12. Number 10
Yeah.
was about $100,000, so I'm
Oh,
assuming
okay.
it's
So
probably done around the same.
yeah, yeah.
But number 5, Chainsaw Man, the movie Reze Arc, $390,000. Anime still going strong. We've
Going
got
strong.
Jujutsu Kaisen Execution coming out December 4th. That's very highly anticipated. I would argue as as the expert of anime on the podcast, I would assume Jujutsu Kaisen has an even bigger fan base than Chainsaw Man, so it'll be interesting to see how that one charts.
Yeah.
Number 4 at $400,000, Springsteen, Deliver Me from Nowhere.
That one's really,
It's had some
really
legs.
hanging in.
It's
The
had
dad
some legs.
the dads are all just like getting together and
And audiences are really liking it. The
yeah,
audience score on Rotten Tomatoes is good. Anyone I
yeah,
know who's seen it has really enjoyed it.
yeah.
So yeah, it's the boss has power.
I was will completely put my hand up and being like, I was not expecting after this many weeks for that movie to still be in the top
Still
five.
be, I
Yeah,
100% agree with you.
yeah,
Coming in at number 3, at $728,000, the 40th anniversary re-release of Back to the Future in cinemas. I wish I saw it. I regret
yeah.
not doing it. We had a
But
fucked week though.
yeah, but fuck, it makes me so happy
Yeah,
that for starters, we're getting these big re-releases for like
totally.
just like the amount of you can just imagine the amount of parents that are like, I'm taking my kid to see this movie
Oh,
because like that was me as a kid.
yeah,
Also, a lot of adults like us who would have been like, fuck, I want to see that movie on the big
I
screen
know.
and just watch that movie again.
Again, yeah.
Because it is coming out. They're releasing all of them. They're releasing all of them separately, and they're releasing
The
a
box set of
box
4K.
set,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I'm tempted.
I'm going to because it's in the collection. I've had it on DVD, the trilogy box set. I have the 30th anniversary Blu-ray edition.
Yeah,
Fuck it, I'm getting the 4K.
yeah. Even though
I just upgraded
yeah,
my Goonies to 4K.
yeah,
So I cannot
I'm
wait to
like,
watch that.
I'm, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm gonna do that too.
More on
Even
physical media next week.
even though, even though the third movie is not
I still like
like
it
I still
though.
like it,
I
but
know
it's
what you mean.
obviously, but it's just that like back to the just the first movie is
It's a stone cold masterpiece.
it's
It's a
one of the
blockbuster
yeah.
masterpiece.
And that is why people are so when everyone talks about like cinema is dying and like oh everybody can just watch something on streaming, I'm like then why are people spending $700,000
Yeah,
going to the movies
yeah.
to not see something new,
Yeah.
but to see Back to the Future. Like that
It's
right
an
there.
experience thing as
Yeah.
well because our good friend and TV editor for World Screens, Josh Barry, he went and saw it at the El Dorado cinemas in Indooroopilly, and he said he picked it out specifically because it is an old theater, and he's like, I got to watch a remastered version of Back to the Future
Yeah.
in an old
Oh,
cinema, and
El
he said it was fantastic.
El Dorado, for like people that don't know, like for me growing up, because I lived in the suburbs that surrounded that
Yeah,
where that is,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
El Dorado was like, yeah, you could go to event cinemas, but at El
Yep.
Dorado, growing up, $5 movie
So
tickets,
good.
just old school like candy bar
I love
and
it.
yeah, the people that worked there were old and didn't give a shit anymore, but who the fuck cares? The amount of movies that I have seen at
Yeah,
El Dorado would infinite.
yeah.
And that makes me so happy. And I've always sort of like because Indooroopilly, which is where that cinema is not a suburb that I go to unless it's a screening, really.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, sure.
And like a part of me's always kind of wanted to be like, fuck, maybe I should just go to the El Dorado again. Like
I'm
just
literally just thinking about it now. I'm
and
like,
be
I
like,
will find time this
is the
weekend.
cinema like the same? Like how much of it has changed?
Change,
Have
yeah.
they kept it kind of like that 90s
Yeah.
to like, oh, that's so good. Yeah.
It's and what no better movie to watch than Back to
Yeah.
the Future
Yeah, yeah.
in that cinema.
Oh,
So I will
yeah.
be looking for session
The
times
amount of
today.
yeah, I look and El Dorado was the kind of cinema where upstairs was so unmonitored
Hmm.
that it's like You walked out of
Just
one
cinema
cinema,
jumping, yeah.
you could just walk into another. And look, yes, that's naughty. That's naughty kids being naughty
When
kids.
you're kids,
But
though, you know
but
what? We did it for cinema.
but you know what? Leaving Shrek and being like, hey, Heartbreakers has just started. Let's fucking go and watch that. Like, like your friend would go in and be like, oh, the credits are still on. Like,
You can still go in, yeah, yeah.
good times.
Good bloody times.
But that was when people that ran cinemas walked through cinemas a
Yes.
lot. And they would be
Yeah.
like, hey, what are you kids doing here?
Hey, you don't have a ticket for this. This is
They're like,
outrageous.
oh, come on, man.
I just want to watch a movie, man.
Yeah, why are you always riding my chain? But yeah, no,
But
that's exciting.
number three
Yeah.
in the charts.
Look
Number
how,
two. Oh
can I
yeah,
also just say, can you
yeah.
just see how much joy films bring people? That whole conversation came from being like, this movie's number three, but that, like,
I know.
oh, people
The start,
have memories going to the movies. That's what this is. And maybe we're missing it now, but you can still do it. Come on.
My singular goal right now. So I have two nieces and a nephew, and
Yeah.
first niece is starting to watch movies on Netflix. She's
Oh,
starting to watch Minions, and I'm like, we just got the invites for the SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
we did
coming out
indeed,
in
yes.
December, and I'm like, do I take her?
Do
This is
you?
her first cinematic experience, the SpongeBob SquarePants,
Yeah.
and I get to do that. Like that's really
Yeah.
cool. So I love it.
Yeah,
The
see,
idea of it's
that's unfortunately I am not an uncle.
great.
But
You
that's
can be Ali's gunkle though if you want.
there you go. But that's the kind of thing that I would want to, I'd be like, let me take them to the movie. And maybe it's the movie that they're not allowed to see.
Oh, I can't wait for
And
that.
you're like,
Where it's
when
just
they're
like
like
it's
12
just,
or when they're like 12 or 13, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna take you to this this
that's
movie.
the old copy I had, and I'm like,
Right.
they're getting it. I'm giving it to them.
Nice.
She's 3. I probably won't show it to her now, but
No,
like,
but
maybe
yeah.
I saw it when I was like 6 or 7. Like that's
Yeah, I saw it,
perfect.
but I think that's the other thing. Like, I think where that's something that's probably missing now is that kids today aren't, because it's because we're in the age of streaming where it's like they can just, I don't know, it's almost like there's too many options. I was like, it's
Yes.
growing up,
Yeah.
the amount of movies that we would have seen
On
because
repeat,
because of
just
either VHS or like going to the cinema.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what needs to be sort of brought
fostered back. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but Back to
How
the
good are
Future number
movies?
3. That's great.
How good are
Very
movies?
happy.
Number 2 at $1 million, still pumping. It's made over 5 million. Regretting You. It's a bona fide fucking hit.
That's a little hit.
It's a completely okay film.
Yeah,
it's
but
exactly what you would expect, but it is
yeah,
empowering.
but it is probably getting all the little
I tell you
tweens
what,
are loving it.
an underestimated audience. That's what it is. Is that
Yeah.
like I think the tweens are craving
Well,
movies.
but also it's like, is Colleen Hoover just becoming? Is she just that name now?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
it ends with us soldiered through all the
immense
things.
controversy. Yeah.
Regretting You has had zero controversy,
Zero
but
controversy, but it's also been like everyone's
Pretty-
like it's bland.
it's been pretty like ripped apart, but
Yeah.
people don't care. So
And
it'd be
then
really
reminders of
interesting.
him. We'll
Yeah,
see.
it'd be really interesting to see how Reminders of Him going, which is arguably out of those 3. I was like, that's the one that I'm like, I'm
Most excited for.
most
Yeah,
excited for. Is it because it's Micah and Tyreek? Possibly.
I
But
mean mainly.
yeah, I think Colleen Hoover might, I was like, this is like the Twilight E.L. James, like is it just one of those things? John Grisham, like all of his
Yes.
movies, it's like, seeing that. I watched The Firm the other night on 4K.
I almost picked it up. I've never
And
seen it. I need
Yeah,
to watch it.
I forgot that movie is like 2.5 hours and is like almost like Tom Cruise running again. I was like, I forgot how much of a thriller it is. I was like, this isn't a courtroom movie. I was like, this is about a law firm who are like fucking doing really shady shit, and
This
he's
is gonna be
trying
an
to.
expensive weekend.
Yeah, great movie. But yeah, no, Regretting You has again completely overblown expectations. I was
totally,
not.
yeah.
I was after, and like $1 million on what? It's third or fourth week.
Third week. Yeah.
Third week. Wild.
Wild.
And also like as much as we said Mason Thames is obviously like doing. I was like McKenna Grace has a pretty like enviable filmography.
Well, she's got Five Nights at Freddy's 2 coming
Yeah,
out, and so she's franchised
and
and Scream
and
7,
then Scream 7. But
and she's
she's
had
like,
Ghostbusters in the past.
yeah,
Like,
but then
she's a
she's
great
also like,
actress too.
and then also like, yeah, Captain Marvel, I, Tonya.
Yes.
Like whenever you wanted a little girl, blonde girl, they were like, get McKenna Grace. And now it's like, you can't be the little kid anymore. You're turning into an adult.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where she
I'm
goes
excited
with
for both of them
her
though. For
career.
McKenna and Mason, I'm excited.
Yeah.
So see what they do. And number one last weekend at the box office, $2.3 million. Predator, Badlands, well deserved. So glad
Absolutely.
people came out to see
Yeah.
it. I do think the M rating probably helps.
I think the M rating helped. Absolutely. Yeah.
But it's just a fun movie, as
Yeah.
we spoke about in last week's episode. I think
Do
it will
you?
have a bit of legs until
Yeah.
it comes out.
Bit of legs. Ironically, Elle Fanning doesn't have any.
She
Do
will not
you?
kick you.
I.
It's terrible.
I I heard this the other day and sort of thought, oh, I wonder if it's true. Do you think that like Prey, because as much as Prey is an incredible film,
Mhm.
do you think it being on streaming almost like helped it become as like popular as it did? Like, do you think if Prey went to
Yeah.
cinemas, do you think Predator Badlands would
Happens, yeah.
exist, sort of thing?
Probably not. And because
Yeah.
it was like right after that. It was like 2022, right? So it was that
It's
COVID-y
that
sort
weird
of
COVID
like,
thing where it's like movies are going to cinemas, but they're also not. And
yeah, people were
I
still
think,
watching a lot on streaming.
yeah,
I think streaming helped it.
I think it should have done a
A, s- a g-
streaming
yeah, a cinematic
and
release as well.
like do what
Yeah.
like the Halloween movies did and
Hmm.
stuff. Because Prey, fuck, I would have. And like, do you think they screened
This,
it for critics in
I know.
cinemas in like Sydney?
Not Brisbane though.
But I would have loved to have seen Prey on the big
I
screen.
would have loved to have seen it.
And it
It
seems
would have been
like,
so cool if they did a re-release before
and
Badlands.
I'm like, yeah, before Badlands, or as Badlands is still going, I was like, maybe you know what you should do? Put Predator, Prey, and Badlands in a triple feature.
We need more of those. We need more movie marathons. El
Oh my
Dorado,
God, we
hit
don't
them up.
have them anymore, and they were one of the best thing on a Sunday night when you knew the Monday was a public holiday, and they gave you four movies, but they gave you four lots
Yeah,
to choose from.
yeah,
Incredible.
the
Yeah.
best.
I remember seeing I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream 2 back to back in a movie
Oh,
marathon.
that's fucking cool. Actually, that's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, well deserved. Predator Badlands 2.3
Yeah.
million. I think it will have another strong week.
Also,
Coming up.
Elle Fanning just being like, and look, I know that like Dakota was the little child star and starred in every single movie.
Elle's
And, like
Elle's
Elle's like,
doing the damn thing.
and I was like, she might end up with an Oscar nomination for Sentimental Value.
Still
And
haven't seen it. I need to see fucking Sentimental Value.
so it's wild that she's like, no,
Yeah.
not thinking again. And like Dakota's kind of now got this like almost like TV resurgence,
Yes, yeah,
almost. But
still
yeah,
great though.
it's cool to see, and
Fanning
she's
sisters.
choosing really interesting stuff.
I agreed. Yeah,
Like Predator Badlands and then like a sentimental value and yeah, it's
and coming off the Great as well, which is a really good TV
yeah.
show.
And then you like, oh, you're in Neon Demon
Oh,
and
she was too.
Maleficent and
What a weird film.
yeah.
Nicholas Winding Refn. But that was the Australian box office top 5. As always, thank you to Numero Box Office for that. Will return next week. 2 more reviews.
Mm.
Pump them out. Let's talk about Now You See Me, Now You Don't.
In the world of magic, everything that disappears reappears. Whew! It is very good to be back.
Come up, you're gonna be our helper.
Okay, disappear in 3, 2, 1.
J. Daniel Atlas in the house. Who wants to see a magic trick? I think we would have made the horseman proud. My Atlas was spot on.
Really? I'll be the judge of that.
A diamond heist reunites the retired horseman illusionists with new performers as they target dangerous criminals. So this is an American heist film, it's been called, directed by Ruben Fleischer, who of Zombieland and Venom fame. A screenplay from Michael Leslie, Paul Wernick, and Rhett Reeves, and Seth Graham-Smith, so 4 screenwriters on this film. And it's the 3rd installment in the Now You See Me film series. The cast includes Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, Dave Franco, Isla Fisher, Morgan Freeman, And new cast members: Justice Smith, Dominic Sessa, Ariana Greenblatt, and Rosamund Pike. The first two Now You See Me's, Pete.
Yeah.
Where are you at? Where are you at with those?
So I haven't rewatched them since I saw them in the cinemas.
Mm,
So
yeah.
it's been a
A
while.
while.
But I
Like it is
remember
since-
I remember enjoying the first one, having a lot of fun with it.
Mhm.
And then I remember the second one just being like it was fine.
I'm the same. I'm probably a
So
little harsher on the second one because I think the
yeah.
first one's great. So I rewatched them both before this, and I said in my letterbox right up for the first one, I was like, I'm the sort of guy who'll stop on the street for magicians. Like if there's a street performer, I'll stop and watch, and I'm sitting there going like, holy shit. And that's what the first film
Oh,
kind of like
the
got with me.
stuff that they did, I'm like, I don't care if it's not plausible and it actually physically can't happen, but it's all exciting.
It's exciting. That's where the second film gets it wrong though, because it goes a step too far. And it becomes like magical, like fantasy realism. And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, John M. Chu directed the second one, and we'll be talking about him next week for Wicked for Good.
Yeah.
But yeah, do not like the second one. I was excited for the third one though. This one, and they finally did the thing.
They finally did the title. Like,
thank God. Now You See Me.
what?
Now you
So
do. Which, by the
technically,
way, I will mention is uttered in the film.
okay.
So
Like,
I was like, perfect. That's all I needed.
So yeah, I think the first one, Now You See Me. The
Mhm.
second one should have been called Now You See Me, Now You Don't.
Yeah.
You know what the third one should have been called?
Go on.
Now You Three Me.
Of course. Of course. They missed the option. It's they Bad Boys did. Whereas like Bad Boys for Life should have been the fourth one.
Or
Bad
at
Boys
least
Ride
call
or
it
Die
now.
should have been the third one.
Call it Now You See Me, but the E's are threes or something.
Exactly. And then we can just call it Now You See Me 3.
Yeah.
We missed the preview screening for this. I went and caught up with it on Thursday. I did a double feature of this.
We'll also say we missed it for a very good reason.
A very, very good
Something
reason.
that in 2026
we will talk to you about in 2026.
Yeah, so
I was excited going into this.
Yeah.
I
I do want to see it. I want to see it more because of the
excitement and the reaction,
enthusiasm there's been for it, especially because it brings in both casts of the first two films.
Yes.
There was the whole thing about Isla Fisher didn't return for the second one and Lizzie Kaplan, but I like that Lizzie Kaplan wasn't just playing Isla Fisher's, like they didn't just recast her.
No,
they got a new character.
So I haven't seen the trailers for this, and I don't know, is Lizzie Kaplan in the trailer?
Talking to Sepher about it, he said he was shocked when she popped up. So I'm guessing she's not in the trailer.
So spoiler alert then, because she's not on the poster either, and I refrained from saying her name in the thing. But I think everyone knows now she's in it, because she's like a reveal halfway through,
right?
And it's great, and it's a really funny scene.
Well, because I just think I think IMDb or Wikipedia, I was like, I just knew that she was
in it
in the movie,
totally, yeah.
So.
Also, I don't think Now You See Me is the sort of franchise where people are going like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you revealed that Lizzie Kaplan's in it."
Yeah.
This is a fun movie. This is it has such a cheeky sense of humor that it's wearing it on its sleeve.
Yeah.
Everyone is having a blast in this film. The returning cast is great. It's primarily Jesse Eisenberg for like the first third because he recruits the new gang. And then everyone else comes in during like the sort of like the second act action scene. And then everyone's in the film all the way to the end. It's like, it's great. But like, it doesn't seem like a beat has been skipped. Like it is so fun. The magic tricks are great. The way it mixes, there's a scene specifically with Ariana Greenblatt where she has to escape a police station and she's using magic and doing like hand-to-hand combat. And I was like, this is sick. This is really fucking cool. There is a really great car chase at the end of the film. So it's both these like jaw-dropping magic scenes, these kind of cool action scenes as well, and it's all having fun. I think Justice Smith is great in this. Ariana Greenblatt's great in this. Dominic Sess is fantastic.
You said like
I'm a fan.
I mean he absolutely came out of nowhere with the holdovers and was just like, who is this kid?
I'm excited for Oh
Um,
What Fun. We just got the spoilers
um,
for that.
we did.
I'm excited to
Safe to
see
say,
that.
I was very excited when that came through. I was like, oh.
I know what I'm watching this
Um,
weekend.
uh, can I just ask
Sure.
though? Obviously, you rewatched the first two
Mhm.
prior to this. As someone who hasn't seen them in many years, is this one of those films that like, do I need to see them, or does it kind of okay?
It's
Because I
it
was,
kind of stands on its own, but then as long as you know that like Morgan Freeman was in the first two,
yeah,
so
yeah,
when he
yeah,
pops
yeah,
up, you're like, oh, he's back. Like
yeah,
there is no like they even fill in the blanks where they talk about the fact that Isla Fisher wasn't
wasn't
in the
there.
second one,
Yeah,
basically. And it's really funny how they do it. Like this
okay.
has a real tongue-in-cheek sensibility about it. And when you look at like Paul Wernick and Rhett Reese, who was part of the
Oh,
screenplay, who've done
like
Deadpool and
Deadpool
stuff
and
like
yeah,
that,
yeah,
it has this really cheeky sort of like joyous tone to it.
yeah.
It's like it's I don't think it's as good as the first one, which is fine. Like it's still a really entertaining time. I think the story itself, it's all centered around this diamond heist from a mining magnate, a South African mining magnate played by Rosamund Pike.
Who apparently does an incredible South African accent.
It was off-putting for me
Right,
because of probably how good it was.
because you're like you're British. Like what?
I think because I
Yeah,
know who Rosamund Pike is, and like, and I went to a school with a large South African contingent, so I
yeah,
was surrounded by people talking Afrikaans
yeah,
growing up. And like every time I heard the enunciation of the
yeah,
vowels, like she does all the vowels like that. And I was like, I know you don't talk like this. So it took me out of the film a little
yeah.
bit, but it also
But she's doing it well.
so heightened and she's
Yeah.
camping it up so much. Like
With,
she's
yeah.
having a great time
This
with
is
it.
also the other thing. Rosamund Pike, I'm like, I am still not over the fact that I was like, she was robbed of Saltburn.
Robbed of
She's
Saltburn,
I was
big time.
like she's so
She's
incredible.
her and Michelle Williams. Michelle Williams? Was she in Saltburn? Who am I
Oh,
thinking
Carey
of?
Mulligan.
Harry Mulligan. What the
Yeah.
fuck? Their back and forth is
Their
great.
little bitchy back
So
and forth
fun.
is great. No, like I am excited for you know what? Just gonna call it. I'm excited for Now You Three Me.
Now,
So
I think that's what we can call it. Now you throw me.
yeah,
It's just a good time. It's a lot of fun. It's easy watching. Again, another fast. Like this week's been fast-paced movies,
yeah.
except for the next film we're going to talk about. But in the sense of like, it's just easy
Yeah,
watching,
yeah.
and it does lend itself to the big screen because there is some really exciting action sequences. And I I saw it. I was in a cinema by myself. It was like an afternoon session. People
Oh,
aren't going to the movies
yeah,
all the
but
time. But I was laughing.
that's the best time to see
It
it.
is yeah, it's true. But I was like laughing out loud, like just by myself. I was a little madman watching Now You Three Me, just going throughout. So hell of a fun time. Definitely worth checking out.
Nice.
As always, you can see more thoughts at waterscreens.com. All right, let's finish this off. The last movie we're going to review, 4 of 4, with Edgar Wright's reimagining of the Stephen King novel, The
Is it
Running
Running
Man.
Man?
Welcome to The Running Man. Survive the world's deadliest game show. Walk away with $1 billion.
That's actually not true. No one has ever survived.
We know a way to beat it, but we have to work together. The biggest underdog win in game show history.
A man joins a game show in which contestants allowed to go anywhere in the world are pursued by hunters hired to kill them. So this is an action-adventure film produced and directed by Edgar Wright and co-written by Wright and Michael Bacall, who worked on Scott Pilgrim vs. the World together. It's the second adaptation of Stephen King's novel, which he wrote under the pseudonym Richard Bachman, and follows the 1987 Arnold Schwarzenegger film of the same name. The cast includes Glenn Powell, William H. Macy, Lee Pace, Michael Cera, Amelia Jones, Daniel Ezra, Jamie Lawson, Coleman Domingo, and Josh Brolin. Stacked cast, stacked crew. I love Edgar Wright. I love Glenn Powell. I love Josh Brolin. Most of all, Pete, I fucking love Coleman Domingo. He's my favorite actor these days.
Yeah.
I was excited for this, but I had trepidations because Edgar Wright has done his best work with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. I think
Mm.
that's just there's no a lot of people when I put up my ranking for Edgar Wright movies and Baby Driver was last, I got hounded. I
Yeah.
don't like Baby Driver at all. I don't think it's a good movie. Um, so I was had trepidations going into this, but Glenn Powell's he's an up and coming movie star. He's I think he's box office may determine this week whether he is a fucking bona fide movie star for sure.
Yeah.
But he's got
Yeah.
the charisma. Edgar Wright knows his way around an action film.
Hmm.
In a year of Stephen King adaptations, we're eating well. We got Life of Chuck, The Long Walk, all things like that. Where did this kind of go wrong? Do you think?
Yeah. Because it's interesting because the original film
Yes,
is ripe for a remake. Like,
totally.
you
Oh,
know, this is a story that feels incredibly relevant today
it's
in this
it's like it's a
whole
dystopian tale of classism and capitalism.
in this
Yeah, yeah.
whole time when like media is so easily manipulated,
Hmm.
like deep fakes, AI,
Well, and just like
the,
media
the
controlled
and
society as
the
well.
rising price of living,
Everything. Yeah.
medicine affordability. And
Everything.
it's very like I think America will very much like
Yes.
it'll hit them a lot harder. Um, yeah, it's really interesting because you're like the original film definitely needs updating. This is a story that feels incredibly relevant. Yeah, you have a director who is exciting and has a lot of like really interesting flourishes that we've seen in all
Yep.
of his past films. Glenn Powell is just charm personified. Yeah, Josh Brolin, Coleman Domingo can't go wrong. Um, so it was interesting that coming out of this, it was like it was it was fine.
It was.
Um,
Do you know? Do you think this was it fine for an Edgar Wright film? That's where
yeah,
I stand on
it's
it
this
because
because it's
it
like
doesn't feel like an
this is
Edgar
not yeah,
Wright
this
film.
is it's I'll admit it had Edgar Wright isms in its opening in its earlier moments.
100% agreed. Yeah, yeah,
And to me, it lost its way. There's a certain point to me that it kind of lost its way
yeah.
and like couldn't entirely get itself back.
Yeah.
Like the first film, what I was kind of hoping for, and this is, look, this could be a spoiler as well, but also you should all
It's a
be
40-year-old novel.
and also you should all be watching this movie anyway, and you probably all will.
Totally.
So like the original film, when Arnold Schwarzenegger um, teams up with the other runners,
Mm.
I was kind of hoping that Glenn Powell and at least Katie O'Brien were going to team up,
Yep.
and it was going to more follow them navigating that. Because yes, because I love that he's so like specific, and he's like, I know how to like get away. Like I think I know how to get away from people. Whereas
He has
Katie O'Brien,
grit and a lot of
yeah,
survival instinct.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas Katie O'Brien is very like fucking come get me sort
Yeah.
of thing. So I kind of would have loved that dynamic of her being very really reckless and him being really
She
like,
seems wasted in this film.
yeah.
Very
I
much
was
so.
very surprised that she was like in it and then they just not in it and then
Do
she
you,
popped up and
do you know what teaming Katie O'Brien and Glenn Powell does as well? And this is, funnily enough, the exact same issue I had with Keeper. Running Man feels incredibly one note. I feel like I'm watching the same scene happen 10 times
yeah.
over 2 hours. And it's just Glenn Powell having to get out of a situation. And very early on, like the story sort of becomes about the fact that like Josh Brolin, who is sort of the games master of all this, he's the producer, the head of the network. And he's pretty much admitting early on, he's like, yeah, we can make this, like we can fake this until you get to day 29. Like the people want to see you survive the 30 days and then we'll fucking kill you at the end because it's great television.
Mm.
So it takes away all the risk.
Yeah.
Knowing that like Glenn Powell will survive this, but they still put him in all these deadly situations.
Yeah.
I guess part of that risk is the fact that they've got the lead hunter played by Lee Pace, who was very funny. I actually liked Lee Pace a lot.
Yeah, he was great.
Who has sort of more of a pride and an ego about him and is like, no, I'm going to fucking kill this guy.
Yeah.
It's just like the lack of distinct Edgar Wright style and just this jumbled narrative that kind of goes nowhere fast. Well, sorry, it kind of goes nowhere slow, to be honest.
And when it does sort of bring in an interesting dynamic, which is Amelia Jones, that also feels far too late,
Far too late, and wraps up
wraps up
far too quick.
too
Yeah.
quickly. But it's almost like it feels like there's like 2 or 3 movies here
Yeah.
that have just been smashed together. Because I'm like, you either give us an entire movie of just outlandish action and Glenn Powell like meeting people all through it and just having like all that like the Michael Cera scene is great.
It's great. Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's like
the highlight of the film.
and that's almost like that's the Edgar Wright stuff that you're like, where's that for the whole thing?
Movie. Yeah.
Or you kind of make it a movie where Glenn Powell is more on the run and he's got a hostage like almost the entire time, and we get to see them build like a bit of a relationship sort of thing.
That's a cool dynamic between Glenn Powell and Amelia Jones, because he's obviously like this working class guy. He gets selected for the Running Man. He didn't want to do the Running Man, but
yeah, he's like, I want to do any other
game show
possible,
but not the Running Man.
But they're just like, yeah, but look at
you're perfect for the Running Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Amelia Jones's character is an upper class citizen, drives a self-driving car, dolls herself up, looks really a lot of makeup and stuff. Holds herself in a much higher regard, looks down upon Glenn Powell when they first interact.
And
I agree. That's a road trip movie almost.
It's looking down on him because all she's got is what she's seeing on the Running Man.
Yeah.
And then it's like really great when he then goes like, then they watch TV and she sees a deep fake of herself.
Yeah.
And she's kind of like
her whole world is
her whole world is like, oh my God, everything I know is a lie.
Yeah.
So then she's more willing to comply with him.
Yes.
But it's like, that's great. But it happens so late in the movie.
Yeah.
And her character is just, it's all wrapped up very neatly.
Yeah, in about 25 minutes.
That it's like,
in saying, without spoiling too much, she is part of the climax of the film.
Yeah. Like, I remember her name popping up in the credits. And then I remember when she finally rocked up, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, she's in this
movie.
Like,
she's in this.
It's just jumbled. It's such a jumbled narrative, and it makes me wonder the Richard Bachman pseudonym of it all. I was like, did Stephen King kind of know this was just kind of like...
But like, to be fair, this is a more faithful adaptation of the book. Because they turned the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie into an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Like they were like,
as if you don't in the 80s, right?
Yeah,
like, yeah, totally. Yeah.
But yeah, like it's disjointed, but I still like there's still merit in it.
There's still like things I
like,
liked.
And I was like, and look,
the action's cool. Like, I think the action's really well done.
And like really, Glenn Powell is very much barreling towards being like movie
I don't think this is a fair movie for him as an actor. I don't think this is what we should judge him for. I think he does better acting in Twisters. You know what I mean? Like, I think he has more to chew on with that.
No, when he
bland leading man in this, but he gets some flourishes. But
yeah, when he's, I think like Top Gun Maverick, like Anyone But You and Twisters, when he's got like that kind of like cocksure attitude, but then there's a layer of vulnerability that works more than him just being angry, because he's just angry in this.
He's angry the whole movie. Yeah.
He does get a few like comedic flourishes, and there's
a few that work, and there's a fair few that don't as well.
But
that's a tonal issue, not a Glenn Powell issue.
That's it. Yeah, he's working with what he's got.
Do you think the movie took itself too seriously, and that's why it was kind of, especially when it talks about the capitalism and classism stuff?
It's weird. I think it's like, for me, him, all the stuff at the beginning, him getting into the games, and probably the first, like him evading them and going to the hotel.
The first 45 minutes.
I was like, it was really working for me, and I felt like it had the right tone. And then I think it started taking itself too seriously the more it went on.
I think you did what I did too, because I was on board, and then I was like, what are we going to do for the next hour and a half?
Yeah.
It's like 2 hour, 15-minute movie.
Yeah, it's a long movie.
It feels like it. And the fact that it doesn't wrap up well, it wraps up, but it doesn't.
It doesn't get there.
Ends.
Yeah,
kind of just goes,
yeah. When it got to
when it cut to
the
credits, I was like,
yeah.
oh shit, all right, okay.
But I still think everyone will go see this.
I think so too, and I don't think it's a bad movie.
No,
I think under any other director who's not Edgar Wright, this
that's it.
probably
This,
gets more of a pass. But because we've seen how good he is and
yeah,
the cool shit he can do with directing and editing and screenwriting as well,
yeah,
this just feels like a bit of a
yeah,
letdown. I need to go back and rewatch Baby Driver. Like I know I need to do that, but I remember seeing it in the cinemas and I had the exact same issue. I was like, this third act sucks. It's too
right,
long. And I was like, the finale of this movie sucks. Like,
yeah,
didn't like John Hamm as the bad guy reveal. Like, I
right,
thought that was stupid.
yeah,
So I will go back and rewatch it. But I felt the same here. I was like, great premise, really
yeah.
great vessel for some cool action. The Michael Cera like fucking brutal Home Alone trap
Oh,
sequence
yeah,
is
with his
fantastic.
fucking demented grandmother or whatever it is.
So
So
funny.
good.
Um, but yeah, it's parts of a whole that don't make a whole, and that's
Yeah,
kind of unfortunate.
yeah,
And I think it's always these it's always funny with these things because we had reactions for the Running Man probably like 3 weeks ago, and I was like, oh shit, this is very positive. And then as soon as I watched it, and as soon as it comes out, and other critics get to see it, and the audience gets to see it, it debuts with like a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes, and you
yeah.
kind of go like, okay, well that's far more, you know,
In
makes
tune.
more sense. It's more in
Yeah,
tune, exactly.
yeah,
So yeah, I definitely recommend The Running
yeah.
Man,
And
but
also, if you're
and on the big screen as well.
yeah, and if you're a Glenn Powell fan, you can call him Glenn Towel because he gets naked in this.
He
So
does get naked in this
yeah, and
film.
he's got a nice little booty on him.
He
So
got a little booty. If anything, that's why you need to see it on the
yeah,
big
if
screen.
anything, you get to see naked Glenn Powell. Not that he hasn't gotten naked
Naked before,
in
yeah.
before, but yeah.
That is The Running Man, and that is another episode of the World of Screens podcast done for this week. Huge episode, 4 massive reviews done and dusted. On the next episode, we have a very special episode coming up, actually. Pete and I are going to be fawning over physical media.
Yeah.
We've been buying a lot of movies lately. As you can see, that stack just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yes.
I need to figure out what I want to do with it.
Yeah, I can't turn to my
Oh, it's yours. No,
media,
well, you're
no,
right. But you will be able
but
to
usually I
next
will be
week.
able to. Yes, indeed.
We're going to be talking about physical media. We're going to have a very special guest on. We're going to be joined by Dave Lee from Dave Lee Down Under, the YouTube channel. Dave is maybe the biggest physical media collector I know. He has over 11,000 movies in his collection. Dave also, in the last year, has started working for Umbrella Entertainment. He's been working on some really cool physical media titles for them as well. But we're all just going to fawn over plastic cases and plastic discs
movie,
for an hour.
movies that we're very proud to have owned
Yes.
that maybe are like impossible to
To
buy.
find and stuff. And
Movies that we just felt like we had to get.
we're
Movies that
definitely showing
maybe
off some of our favorites.
maybe movies that we regret but still have.
Oh,
Or
fuck.
yeah,
I've got a few of those.
there's I got a few, but
So we're going to do a fun physical media episode. And then on the movie edition next week, 2 highly anticipated sequels. We've got Sisu Road to Revenge. And then on the complete other end of the spectrum, Wicked for Good. But in the meantime, head to waterscreens.com, latest film and TV reviews, news, awards, expert articles, and much more. If people want to find you in the meantime, Pete, where can they find you on the internet?
you can find me on Instagram and X at ratedpdg. I will update my letterbox at some point, but my God, it's just been.
You're going to need to carve out a weekend for that.
Yeah,
That's the plane ride home.
That's like 4 months of stuff to put in. I'm like, oh,
I did 4 days this morning, and I was like,
yeah,
this is laborious.
it's so much stuff. But yes, and Rotten Tomatoes and the AU review where, God, I have so many things.
Just a couple of things, like
coming out.
202
Just
interviews.
just a couple of interviews coming out. But that is where you can find me. And if they want to find you, where can they look for you?
Well, I hope they don't. Stop fucking filming me. At NixFlixFix on Instagram, X, and Letterboxd is the main places you can find me there. Oh, and TikTok now. I've caved. I do skits now. I do
I
movie
did see
skits.
that. Yeah.
Do you know what? it fucking worked.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But I did do a cool video about my tattoo because I was like, so many people ask what it means, and I was like, well, I'm gonna tell it. I'm gonna tell people what this.
It does not mean Ed Sheeran.
It does. That was the most offensive thing I've ever heard. Someone also thought, I'm trying to get it on the camera here. Someone also thought it was Jesus on the cross, but I'm like, it's a tiny, tiny Jesus.
Like yeah.
But no,
Weird.
I'm not a Christian, and there's not Jesus on the cross. But if you want to find out what the tattoo means, go to my Instagram at NixFlixFix. Thank you all for listening to this episode of the show, and we will see you on the next episode, the physical media episode of the World of Screens podcast.